Sussex, what did I tell you? A total betrayal, having promised King Charles that their UK return would be private and discreet. The Sussexes have proved once again that they cannot be trusted, folks. You cannot do business with these people. Now, it's my understanding that King Charles was very clear about the ground rules for the Highgrove House gathering, which I'm told was barely an hour in length. And the rules were very clear. No photos, no publicity, no interviews. Good luck with that. This is Meghan Markle we're talking about. My husband. So Meghan couldn't resist, could she? She just couldn't help herself, bending the rules with a huge photo drop on her Instagram, publicising her UK return. She had to show off. She had to flex her muscles. She had to send a very clear message. I am back. I'm the Duchess with a capital D, and I'm an English royal princess all over again. And this is just the beginning. That was the clear message. So we've been subjected to vomit-inducing photographs of Meghan and Harry with the rather clever selling line that these are merely images from a magical summer. You see, Meghan's not stupid. Oh, I just have a few photographs from our magical summer in Europe, right? But that is, of course, a Trojan horse. This summer holiday gallery is a clever way of getting one particular image out. And it's the one that features Archie and Lily. We don't call her Lilibet. That is a stolen name. It features Archie and Lily on the Althorp estate, the late Princess Diana's childhood home and her place of rest. Because, of course, for Harry and Meghan, especially Meghan, nothing is sacred. Now, this, in my view, this photo drop, which features this one image in particular, which is the important one, that's the money shot. It demonstrates how conniving the Duchess is, because she's stayed within the rules laid out by King Charles. She's not stupid. She stayed within the rules. What she's doing, folks, is sticking to the letter of the law, but not the spirit of it. So their royal return came with King Charles's blessing. They were so lucky to be allowed back into the United Kingdom, because I can tell you that this government that we have at the moment are trying to tighten up illegal immigration, and they're trying to keep certain characters out of the country who have no right to be here. And I would include Harry and Meghan as two unwelcome aliens after everything they've done to the country. But the bottom line is that they were very lucky that they've come back to England with the King's blessing, and not just the blessing, but the very kind offer of royal accommodation at Buckingham Palace, which of course led to a hideous war of words between the Sussexes and the palace about what was offered when. Well, it's very clear that Buckingham Palace made the offer to stay in the finest house on planet Earth, and Harry, being very rude and obnoxious, left it to the last minute to go, oh, yeah, actually, I do need digs. I'll be there in 2 days, yeah? Well, I'm so sorry. It doesn't work like that with Buckingham Palace, because they need to fluff the cushions, they need to get the Dyson out, and they need to put mints on the pillow, and they've got to get chefs in, they've got to sort out extra security, you name it. So all King Charles needed was a week's notice. And it's my understanding that Harry, at the very last minute, days before his UK return, suddenly decided he would take a place at Buckingham Palace, literally treating the place like a hotel, like an Airbnb. So the royal return was a source of great fortune for Harry and Meghan. They did not deserve to be back in the UK with the King's blessing. Harry did not deserve the offer of accommodation at Buckingham Palace. Because let's be clear, his book Spare and the Harry and Meghan documentary and the Oprah interview could have seen the end of the royal family, because they made allegations, particularly in the Oprah interview, that could have brought down the House of Windsor. And then Harry gets to go back into Buckingham Palace, which is the main building representing the British monarchy. He gets to stay there overnight after his disloyalty. So that's how incredibly kind the King was. And the King did not ask for much. Well, you see, I have a simple request, Meghan, you see. Do you mind keeping it to yourself about this royal return, you see? Do you mind being discreet? And do you mind not trying to monetize every second of your life And please don't use this return to the United Kingdom as a chance to recalibrate your royal credentials, because no one enjoys your horrible fruit spread, which is so runny it can't actually legally be called jam, and of course your flour sprinkles, which Mark Dolan considers the flour sprinkles to be hallucinogenic, mind-altering, toxic, and people aren't supposed to eat flowers, you see. Now that's the problem. King Charles, a kindly but misguided man, thinks that the couple are going to come to the UK, go into Highgrove House, which is the place where King Charles relaxes. It's where he does his gardening. It's where he chats to the geraniums. I do enjoy speaking to the geraniums because they are most enlightening on world politics. I will tell you that the daisies know nothing. They're pig ignorant, you see. And the daffodils, well, you might as well just chop them up, frankly, and put them in the shredder and turn them into Meghan Markle flower sprinkles, you see, because people aren't supposed to eat flowers. So King Charles was naive, and he thought the assumption was the couple would be discreet. They have been anything but, because they're not discreet people. Because I think they've both got a personality disorder. I think there's something wrong. It's only my opinion, but I'm a student of human nature. I've been around the block a few times. I've lived a life. And I think that they're both not right in the head. I think Harry is consumed with anger and rage. He's at war with the world. And it's all because of losing Diana when he was a little boy, which is nobody's fault. But he's decided that it's the fault of the Daily Mail. It's the fault of the UK press, who, by the way, had nothing to do with that tragic night in Paris in 1997. That was a freelancer European photographer and journalist that were chasing her, may God rest her soul, in a Paris tunnel. And of course, at the wheel was a drunk security guard working for Mohammed Al-Fayed, who was the owner of Harrods, and it turns out a truly wicked man. So Harry's at war with the world, and his judgment isn't right. And Meghan, who knows what's going on there? I believe that she has a mild personality disorder based upon narcissistic traits. I think for some reason, something happened to her when she was little. She's created this construct. My husband, I call him H. And for some reason, she's got this fake persona. It's not her. I would imagine that if you went into a time machine and you went back 20 or 30 years and you encountered Meghan Markle, little girl or little teenager, you'd find her very normal and well-adjusted. Something happened, a trauma, God knows what. I don't care. It's no excuse for being a horrible, toxic person. But it's my view that Meghan completely changed. And actually, if you speak to Thomas Markle Sr., who is her father, who desperately wants to see her again before he dies and has never met his grandchildren, never met Harry, although that's a blessing. Who needs that?
Oh, hi. Nice to meet you, Mr. Markle. Have I told you about my terrible life growing up in palaces with courtiers everywhere and butlers and never having to see a bill or worry about where the next meal is coming from, yeah?
So, but the bottom line is that the two of them are just, they're not right in the head. Meghan is, narcissistic type. Harry, pathologically angry, wounded, damaged, anger issues. And so they're not going to be discreet, and they're not trustworthy. They lied in the Oprah interview. Harry, you could argue, lied in court. That's why his case collapsed against the Daily Mail. And of course, we'll be bringing coverage of what Mr. Justice Nicklin, the judge that took Harry down and took him down to Chinatown, is going to say about how much money Harry owes the Daily Mail for legal costs. Paul Dacre, who runs the whole operation at the Daily Mail, is looking for $75 million. So they're not discreet people. They're not right in the head. You can't do business with them. A leopard does not change its spots. Now, here's what's going on with Meghan's photo drop. She needed a photo. And I said this on the very entertaining Royal Exclusive show, which is the Sun newspaper's excellent show, hosted by my very good friend, Matt Wilkinson. Really, really enjoyed being on it. And I said at the time, the problem with the UK return for Harry and Meghan is there was no image. And Meghan needed that. She needed the PR coup. She needed that metaphorical mic drop. She needed evidence that she was back.
King Charles reportedly had just one request before Prince Harry and Meghan's return to the UK. Keep it private. No photographs, no publicity, and no headlines. Just a quiet family reunion away from the cameras. But only days later, Meghan shared what appeared to be an innocent collection of family photos on Instagram, instantly sparking debate among royal watchers. Was it simply a glimpse into their magical summer, or was it a carefully calculated PR move designed to remind the world that the Sussexes are still very much connected to the royal family? The timing is what has fueled so much speculation. Prince Harry is reportedly facing legal costs that could climb into the tens of millions of dollars following his defeat in the Associated Newspapers court case. At the same time, questions continue to swirl about the Sussexes' finances, uncertainty surrounding their future business partnerships, and whether they are struggling to maintain the brand value they once enjoyed after stepping away from royal life. Against that backdrop, Meghan's photo release has left many asking whether this was simply a family update or part of a much bigger strategy to reshape public perception. Reports suggest Harry and Meghan's return to Britain came with King Charles's blessing, including an offer of accommodation that reportedly became the subject of last-minute confusion over timing. The centrepiece of the visit was said to be a private reunion at Highgrove House, lasting roughly an hour, with no official photographs, no media access, and no public spectacle. Several royal commentators have also claimed Queen Camilla was present during the meeting, with some speculating her presence helped ensure there would be no disputes later about what was discussed. Whether or not those claims are accurate, the overall understanding was reportedly straightforward. This meeting was meant to remain private. Then came the Instagram post. Meghan described it simply as a collection of memories from a magical summer, featuring beach photographs of Harry, Meghan, Archie and Lilibet, alongside other family moments. On the surface, nothing appeared unusual. None of the pictures were taken inside Highgrove or showed King Charles or any other senior royal. Technically, nothing in the gallery appeared to violate the reported request for privacy. Yet many royal commentators argue that while the letter of the agreement may have been respected, the spirit of it was not. Instead of publishing images from the reunion itself, they believe the carefully curated collection delivered a different message altogether. That Meghan was back in Britain, back in royal circles, and back in the headlines without ever needing to release a single Highgrove photograph. One image, however, drew significantly more attention than the rest. It showed Archie and Lilibet at Althorpe Estate, Princess Diana's childhood home and final resting place. For many commentators, this was the photograph that transformed an ordinary family album into something much more symbolic. They argue the image subtly connected two powerful narratives at once: the Sussexes' return to British soil and their enduring connection to Princess Diana's legacy. Whether intentional or not, the photograph quickly became the focal point of discussions across royal media. This is hardly the first time commentators have suggested that Diana's legacy continues to play a role in the Sussexes' public image. Daily Mail columnist Maureen Callaghan, among others, has argued that Prince William has reportedly visited his mother's grave privately with Catherine and their children for years, without ever allowing those moments to become public. Diana, after all, was buried at Althorpe specifically to preserve the site's privacy and dignity. So when Archie and Lilibet appear in photographs from that same estate, critics naturally ask whether the location itself has become part of the Sussex brand. Supporters may simply see it as children visiting an important family place, while critics interpret it as another example of Diana's legacy being woven into the couple's public narrative. That conversation became even louder after People magazine published coverage comparing Meghan's beach photographs to famous images of Princess Diana vacationing with a young Prince Harry. Royal commentators have pointed to that comparison as evidence that the Diana connection was unlikely to be accidental. Whether orchestrated or not, they argue the similarities encourage readers to associate Meghan, Harry and their children with one of the most beloved figures in royal history. When viewed alongside Harry's reported legal battle and ongoing speculation about the couple's finances, some commentators believe the timing becomes difficult to ignore. Reports continue to suggest Harry could face enormous legal costs after his courtroom defeat, while rumours persist about uncertainty surrounding the Sussexes' commercial future. None of these financial claims have been fully confirmed, but they have dominated headlines in recent weeks. Against that backdrop, Meghan's carefully timed Instagram gallery has been interpreted by some observers as an attempt to shift the conversation away from legal setbacks and toward family, nostalgia and royal connections. Others see something different. They argue the Sussexes remain global public figures whose personal lives naturally attract enormous attention, and that sharing family photographs during a summer holiday is hardly unusual. From that perspective, the criticism says more about public fascination with the couple than it does about Meghan's intentions. As with so many stories involving Harry and Meghan, interpretation largely depends on where you already stand. Whatever the motive, the outcome is difficult to deny. King Charles reportedly got the private reunion he wanted, with no official photographs emerging from Highgrove itself. Meghan, meanwhile, managed to dominate headlines through a carefully selected series of family images that reignited conversations about the Sussexes, Diana's legacy and the future of their relationship with the royal family, all without publishing a single picture from inside the meeting. And that's exactly why this story has sparked so much debate. Was it simply a thoughtful family photo album shared with followers? Or was it a sophisticated exercise in image management that technically followed the rules while achieving the very publicity King Charles reportedly hoped to avoid? As speculation continues over Harry's legal bills, the Sussexes' finances and their future outside the royal family, this latest chapter has only added another layer to one of the most closely watched family dramas in the world. And that's where we'll leave it for today. What do you think? Was Meghan's Instagram photo drop simply an innocent collection of family memories, or was it a carefully timed PR strategy that technically followed the rules while still sending a powerful message? Share your thoughts in the comments below. I always love reading your opinions, and some of the best discussions happen right there. If you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you never miss the latest royal news, exclusive updates and all the biggest stories surrounding the royal family, Prince Harry, Meghan Markle, King Charles, William and Catherine. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next royal update.